right now we are going to watch what I consider to this day my best work, my masterpiece. I wouldn't say it is a masterpiece. No. It is my masterpiece. So this is my best work that I've ever made. This is probably the best. This is probably the best movie I've made technically. Best short film that I made technically, and I'm super proud of it. Who you see on the screen right here is someone who I knew him in elementary school actually. Yeah, I pitched him the idea of one of the final, like this is a final project that I had to do. Most of these stuff I feel like are showing our final projects, but
right.
That's neither here nor there. I pitched him the ideas like, hey, since you're like really into skateboarding and stuff, like I'd like to make a video about like your experience with skateboarding. How does like are you into that or whatever? And he's like, yeah, dude, let's do it. So yeah, this video is about skateboarding, and I think it's pretty good. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed the experience and everything.
Well, we shall find out.
What's going on? My name is Johnny McGillen. I've been skateboarding for about 8 months now, and we're at Grant Park here today. So like a lot of other skaters, my first skateboarding...
That guy's going to be a killer. It's the orange hoodie returning.
That's not me, by the way.
Go and get him. Go and get him.
That's not me, by the way. I didn't even notice that. Holy shit.
A return to the original short film. Got another crime killer in here, an abductor.
Experience was actually with a longboard, and my friend Drew just gave me his longboard. He said he didn't need it anymore. I started cruising around the streets of Oak Park, River Forest, and I just totally fell in love with it, man. By about July of that summer, my parents saw how much I loved longboarding and ended up buying me a skateboard for my birthday. So from July until now, I've been skating almost every single day, trying to progress daily and get new tricks in, and I've just totally fallen in love with it. I feel like one of the big do's of skateboarding would be to go to awesome skate parks like the one behind me. Grant Park is basically the skate mecca of Chicago, and it's pretty much got everything you need. However, it's also really important to take those tricks that you practice and learn at the parks and take them to the streets and see the world around you completely in a different light. See, a bus, you would think you could just ride a bus, and that's about it. A skater could look at a bus and think, man, how cool would it be if I held onto the back for dear life as the bus took off, unbeknownst to the driver.
Is that against the law or not in some states or something?
I don't know. Rides? My friend told me, I'm like, he's like, I don't know. It was never. It was
feel
never.
Like it would be if there's like a cop behind him, like, bro, what are you doing? Like.
I mean, listen, Marty McFly got away with that shit in Back to the Future, so
I guess you're not wrong there. True.
Wait, because
so a trick like
it was weird because like I asked him about sketching and all that, and I'm like, wait a minute, so the way you're describing it, is it like what Marty McFly does in the beginning of Back to the Future when getting to school? He's like riding a skateboard and he's grabbing on the back of a truck, and he's just and he's like, yes, that's sketching. And I'm like, oh shit, that's gonna be awesome. So literally like we just had like a scene like prepped just to like
catch a bus and get
it like try to wait for the next bus, hold on to it, and like try to like record it. And that was like a handheld shot, so that's why it wasn't like the greatest looking thing, but like just enough to get the point.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so glad I shot that because that was like fun as hell to watch.
Yeah, that's tight.
Like that is called sketching, where you're holding onto the back of the bus for dear life, and it's pretty awesome, man. Going out into the streets and finding an object that you didn't think was possible to skate, and going and board sliding, whatever, a giant handrail down a set of stairs, it's a pretty awesome feeling. So I'd say that's probably the biggest do of skateboarding is, while it is important to practice your tricks in a park, going out and street skating is really what, in my opinion, the art is all about. And now, if you wouldn't mind taking a couple seconds away and watching this commercial break for my own personal skate lessons. Hey, what's going on? My name's Johnny McGillen. I'm an up-and-coming skater in the Oak Park area, and I've been skating for about 8 months now. And at this point, I feel confident enough in my skateboarding ability to take on another skating pupil. So please welcome my dear friend Cooper Ricks.
All right.
Pleasure to have you on, sir.
Thank you very much for having me on. So yeah, my name is Cooper Ricks. I am also the director of this project that I'm working on. So
Fourth wall breaking.
All right, pleasure
Yep.
to meet you, Cooper.
Yep.
All right, so the first step
The
is
fourth
learning-
wall break, but is it because you're in the thing doing a documentary thing? So maybe it isn't the fourth wall break, but it is.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm
skateboarding is
I'm
determined
behind the camera, but I'm also in front. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like literally behind.
But
it
your
until he just
character
introduced me, and
is
I'm like,
doing
"All
the
right."
project. I was thinking of it like your character is doing the project of filming the commercial for him, but it's also the documentary that you're filming the whole thing. Yeah.
Correct.
You're a
That's
goofy
correct.
skater or a regular skater. So Cooper, are you goofy or regular? I absolutely can tell you the difference. So, goofy skaters skate with their right foot forward, like so. Regular skaters skate with their left foot forward, like so. I myself am a goofy skater. Cooper, we're gonna now determine if you're a goofy or a regular skater. So, Coop, I'm gonna put the board down. Let's see which way you feel more
okay,
comfortable.
I'm definitely not a goofy skater because that's a little too goofy. This I can actually balance yourself.
Right, so
I'm
it
a
seems like
I'm
you're
a
a
bit of a
regular
normal
skater.
skater. Yeah.
Awesome. So now we got a regular skating Cooper. So the next step is now to teach Cooper how to push around and how to ride around just like normal. Ladies and gentlemen, Cooper's rolling in fakie. He's rolling in fakie. He can't stop. He attempted the 180 kick turn and he's out.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome back. Thank you very much for your time. And now we're going to talk about some of the don'ts of skateboarding. So one of the biggest don'ts, I would say, that you would hear around parks and streets alike would be people saying don't wear a helmet. And a lot of people who don't skate don't really understand why skaters don't wear helmets. So people will just come up to you and be like, hey man, you're being stupid. You're going to get a concussion. You're going to, get hurt. You're going to die. Pretty much to that, I would say, well, MMA fighters don't wear helmets. You're not going and telling MMA fighters, oh, you should be wearing a helmet in the ring. That's really dangerous. The whole point of the sport is, yeah, man, it's really dangerous. Like, that's what makes the tricks so rewarding when you land them. I feel like wearing a helmet would almost take away a little bit from like the elation you feel of landing that really difficult trick that you've been trying for hours. Landing a super gnarly and dangerous trick without a helmet just makes it that much more awesome, in my opinion.
Let's go.
So another big don't of skateboarding, I would probably say would be, don't be a jerk to beginners. There are so many people who are just starting out skateboarding, especially from the pandemic. We just saw a lot of people had a ton of time on their hands. They're like, screw it, man, I'm gonna learn to skate. And in my opinion, that is awesome. Unfortunately, there's been this sort of rude skate culture where people will try to gatekeep skateboarding for beginners. And by calling them, names like poser or whatever, man. I still consider myself a beginner skateboarder. As a beginner skateboarder myself, it is super, super, super.
What would it even mean to be a pro or like to not be a beginner skateboard? Like, it seems like there's such a skill differential between super high level, regular, mid, beginner. Like, goes all over the place,
Yeah, it's weird. It's like I even asked him like, it's like, for all the shit that you're like doing for this project, it's like you seem like you're past the beginner skateboarding phase. Like where I'm a beginner skateboarder. I'm like trying to get used to like actually like pushing and steering and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll eventually move into like ollies and stuff, but like I'm like that is like a beginner skateboarder right there.
Yeah.
It's like some of the shit that you're doing is like you're like past that, dude. Like honestly.
Yeah, but still, it's like, who are the people that are like going, oh, those are just noobs and whatever? It's like, what? So what about what they can do makes it? I don't know. It's like, because it just seems like there's such a wide variety. Because I'm sure there's plenty skateboarders that'd be like, well, you're a noob. You're still learning a lot. Like, how much do you know? Like with it, how much can you do? and it's like I don't know, like yeah, it's I wouldn't have expected skateboarding to have like any type of gatekeeping in there because it seems like like if you're gonna ride a bike or you're gonna do a scooter or you're gonna do rollerblades, skateboarding I've always kind of put them in a similar category because people can either try to ride them for fun to get around or to do tricks or whatever. So that's kind of what I'd see it as.
Let's be honest, man. Even for like the smallest shit ever, there's gatekeeping on almost everything.
I guess I've heard there are, I forget what's her face on Friday Night Tights one time. She like said there's like knitting community of like discourse and like blood in the water and that section of things. It's like, okay, what if thought of that?
I mean, let's be honest. Like anything, even skateboarding for sure, there's going to be some assholes.
Like any hobby, like, any type of thing that people do, type of hobby, essentially.
Yeah, there's going to be some assholes putting you down. So that's just, I think it's a good one to mention.
Right.
Because when you do that stuff, it's not going to encourage that person to keep doing it. It's like, oh, fuck this.
True.
Disencouraging, I would say, to hear, to see somebody who's so much better than you calling you names and saying your tricks are lame and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, my tricks are lame, man. Like, I'm just starting out. So just being supportive of all the new members in your community is really the best thing you can do. So I'd say biggest don't be a jerk, man. So to close this off, I would say everybody should start skateboarding. It's actually pretty easy to learn. The first month or two is sort of grueling, but once you sort of get into the swing of it, you almost sort of get addicted to it. So I would recommend everybody watching this video right now should totally start skateboarding. It is the best de-stressor I've ever found in my life. And building your skill up in really anything is so good for your mental health. So I would say, why not have it be skateboarding? It doesn't have to be starting your own business. Just building proficiency in a skill, I feel like is good for everybody. That's my biggest takeaway is I think everybody should start skating. And thank you very much for watching.
Well done.
Dude, that took so many takes.
I'll bet, man. Well done, dude.
A little bit of bloopers right there. But that one shot where that one dude was like the guy going up the ramp, that was Cyber. The other one was Johnny going down the rail, whatever. That took like honestly, that took like 40 or 50 takes.
Oh my gosh.
like we had to like do it just right because they like every single take was like a complete fuck up.
Oh, that's funny, but that's cool, man. That's good.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, good. That was your best documentary style right there.
Yeah,
that's good.
Did you think that was like my overall like best?
I think so. It was more focused, even though it was outside and had wind and other noises. The audio, I think, was fine. Came through good enough. Yeah, you know what you're doing with the camera. You had good things to show while he's talking. With it, and you guys were really doing it while you're there. So, more props to that too.
I didn't have like a boom mic or anything like for like microphones and stuff. I just used the camera mic. That's
me too. Yeah, I literally have an external mic attached to the camcorder that I have. So that's the main audio source.
For like the interview part though, like I actually like attached a small like microphone like attached to his shirt.
Right. Yeah.
And like that like sort of like I think that picked up a lot less wind because of the material compared to like the actual camera, because like the speakers in the camera and all that and the or the microphone in the camera, like that's gonna pick up some wind. Obviously. But
yeah, not bad.
But yeah, like I shot a ton of other B-roll than the ones that you just saw, so that's kind of where I learned from like my mistakes from my first, like from first semester to now, and
it becomes a lot easier to figure out what footage you want to use when you're editing, and when you're filming to figure out what will work better when you're editing. It's the more you do it, the easier it becomes to do in a way. Which is probably the benefit of literally pick up a camera and film something. Like when people say that, that's legit. It's kind of like you won't learn more if you're not trying to do any of it. That's why even with my short films, like I try to make them, like stories, characters. I even play as more than one character often, but like, the more that I do that kind of thing, the more I'm aware of like lighting, of, camera placement. The fact that I don't usually have a cameraman, it's just on a tripod to try to make shots interesting, because if it's static for too long, that can be jarring a little bit if it's not, the camera isn't changing or moving or anything. So keeping in mind where different cuts go, like, even having like audio cut off, like while I'm talking, splice that over when my next character is talking, played by me, so that it, and then have that one start or something. So it sounds like they're in the same room talking, even if they're not, but, seeing things like that. So seeing your stuff, do you have any more stuff planned for short films? Whether or not it's for a college assignment or for fun or whatever.
See, if I had the equipment, I don't like the stuff. All the stuff that I used was given by the school. So,
I mean, you have a camera right now, and you have a phone.
I don't. I'm going to be honest.
You technically don't have any excuse, my friend.
No. I do have an excuse, because I don't want to film on my phone, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to learn shit just by filming on a phone. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what you can figure out what to do. It's like this is where a challenge would be. If you had a challenge to film something with a phone, and you have very limited sources, you have limited things to do. What would the point be? What might your character do? How can you make that work? How long would you need to have it be? And you could make something work with a cell phone thing. The cell phone is your camera.
I could.
And have something work.
I could.
You might learn different techniques with that.
If that was a requirement, yes. But like,
what if I gave you an assignment? Run it.
Yeah. If you were to give me a dumb assignment where I had to record with my fucking phone, sure, I would take a challenge like that. But I'm talking about for personal preference.
Okay.
I think using a camera, you will learn so much than by picking up one of these and then just pushing the red button and pushing it out. Like, there's a lot more to a camera that I think is just